The new eco project will actually be an expansion of existing facilities. As I'm sure you know, the eco park opened in July 2015, and we currently receive cardboard, plastic, paper, waste electronic, metal, and we actually treat all this waste and then send it on to end users.
I believe that starting with separation, but room for expansion.
Most definitely. I think Gibraltar is a very small place, and so we can't take up a site with a project that's finite. It's got to be scalable. So we're looking at various treatment machines that will, for example, turn the organic waste into electricity, which means we'll be able to sustain the plant and we won't be drawing from the grid locally.
Also, in terms of where you're going to export to, the project, I believe, allows for flexibility.
Very much so. Because of the actual plant machinery that we're bringing in, the waste that is not recoverable, so the organic waste and waste that isn't sold on, will be placed into hermetically sealed boxes, and that allows now for there to be shipping via vessel and not just via the land frontier.
And politically important that Gibraltar has self-sufficiency.
I think Gibraltar needs self-sufficiency in all areas, but I think in waste we are particularly vulnerable. I mean, lately, post-Brexit, the frontier has had its issues, as we all know, and when we've had waste trucks stuck at the border, we've been lucky that they've been waste electronic and not organic waste, because we don't carry it at the moment. So imagine if a waste truck with a tarpaulin full of organic waste is stuck at the border for a day. I mean, we'll all suffer, and it will give our neighbours greater power over us, because they'll exploit that vulnerability. So we have to be self-sufficient in as many areas as we can. And if I can say as well, the reason this project is so good is because we're going to be shipping, aside from what we still try and ship via the border, because we want to work with everybody, we'll be shipping about 50 containers a month. That will create volume in the port, which means that local businesses will also have an option to use the shipping lines that were perhaps prohibitive before, because, you know, demand drives prices down. So it will help local business as well, we feel.
Well, something that I have to bring up are people's claims that the contents of the recycling bins are actually mixed, so it's actually not worth recycling at all.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because last Thursday, whilst I was waiting to present to the DPC, somebody actually said that to me. Well, what's the point? You know, we recycle and we know it's all being mixed and going to landfill, but I can assure you that it doesn't. Whatever you're putting in the bins in Gibraltar is coming to the eco park, it's being recovered. I mean, in the end, waste is a business, so we'd be very foolish to take what you've separated and throw it away when it's funds for the Gibraltar government and for Metal Rock.
We recycle 25% of waste, and you hope to take this up to 72%?
We are indeed, and these numbers we've arrived at by working with ESG, by working with government, so it's not a figure we've plucked out of the air. We've really been held to task on those numbers, and I believe that that puts us amongst the top 5 nations for recycling worldwide once we achieve those targets. So very proud of Gibraltar.